Hey guys, this is Jeremy with another Life by the Square Inch video. This is the day 3 of the My 30-Day World Challenge put out by the Absolute Tabletop guys in conjunction with their Dragongrin, the Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin Kickstarter. And we're going to answer the question for the day, which is number 3, who is the most nefarious villain in your world? Once again, I have several different settings that I couldn't choose between, so I just decided to tackle all 7 of them. So here we go. The first up is Rostbean. There is a guy named Falor who is the champion of Ouijas, the goddess of chaos. He's a doppelganger, and he's an incredibly gifted assassin. He's a really nasty dude. And he runs around kind of orchestrating a lot of the mayhem and discord, sowing his goddess's whims everywhere he goes. He's pretty much behind every campaign that I've ever run that's set in this world, kind of pulling the strings of whichever villain that I happen to use. So for those of you who have been playing in this world before, surprise. The second setting is Arath. Arath doesn't have true dragons, though there's plenty of other ugly beasties that kind of roam around. However, an abomination was introduced at the end of the second part of the Oath of the Frozen King double shot, which I ran, which was renamed the Vow of the Shackled Vizier. Oath of the Frozen King is another Absolute Tabletop product that they put out. You can find the Vow of the Shackled Vizier game here on this channel. But this is the first true dragon of this setting, and it goes on to create some pretty unprecedented changes. But as it was created kind of inside the mists of this world, this being becomes known later as the Greyborn. For setting number 3, which is Acid Rain, Archie Shaw is probably the most hated man in Cadian's Keep. However, the viewers on the mainland love him. He's kind of an untouchable rock star, according to them. But he's hardly the most nefarious villain. That would have to sit squarely on the boardroom table of Skynet Corporation, where men in silk suits have set up everything that kind of goes on in Cadians since the very beginning, even before the purchase of the evacuated city of Haven Falls, actually. The fourth setting is Dowrinland. Without a doubt, this title would sit between 2 people, would be split between 2 people. The first of which is the Obsidian King, who's also known as the King of Spades. And he dabbles in necromancy and demonology, kind of making pacts with fiends in exchange for the souls of those who live in his kingdom. And when his wizard refused to bring his wife back from the dead, he actually just took the magic right out of his head in order to do it himself, and imparting this power into his corpse bride, making her the Witch of the West. The second individual would be the Red Queen, who is known as the Queen of Hearts as well. She keeps a collection of heads in glass cases where she changes out her own as often as others might change clothing or jewelry. Naturally, she's fond of taking the heads of young, beautiful women, and is very, very fond of trumping up charges to have them beheaded. Off with her head. She's fond of being heard saying. The fifth setting is Caldera, and while the 6 mage barons there are certainly powerful and corrupt enough to be villains, they're likely not the most nefarious. A reoccurring villain that I like to use is Curtis Caldwell, who is a powerful cattle baron that also just happens to be the alpha of a large pack of werewolves. However, the most nefarious would likely be somebody that's locked up in Salkin prison, which in the city of Horizon, there's this maximum security prison that is built inside the ruins of an old seaside Darathian fortress. And it has all kinds of arcane measures to keep the truly bad baddies locked away. The 6th setting is Chrome City. The Lord Warden Aldemont is the Sept leader of the moon, on the moon of Cadian, but he spends a lot of his time kind of at court and schmoozing with the other houses of the various moons around Bastion. But his son, Canisto Aldemont, holds the title of the Count of Chrome City. And this guy, he puts the D in D-bag. So the last and final setting is, of course, Momentum. As I said earlier in the videos previous, this setting is still very much in its infancy, kind of in my brain, so I don't have any villains in mind just yet. It's much less nefarious, the most nefarious amongst them. But there's a lot of dwarves that delve into a place called the Down Under, which is rife with demons and devils who kind of come to slowly possess them. So there certainly will be with time. I'm just not there quite yet. So that's it for day number 3, question 3. Who is the most nefarious villain in your world? And that just about does it for me. So next time, or until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.